man. I appreciate your time, bro. I'm sure you're probably enjoying a day off, maybe.
No,
But
just sort of
no,
relaxing now, starting to taper and freshen up. Yeah, so
yeah.
it's all good.
How's training camp? How's everything going? There's a public workout coming up this week, huh?
Yeah, it's been good
Yeah,
actually.
yeah,
I felt like early and like fresh and sharp early on this prep, so I just worked on tightening everything up pretty much.
yeah.
But it's been a
Hey,
good prep, and yeah, got the
yeah,
public workout tomorrow.
yeah. Looking forward to that.
It'll be
Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
What has it been like? In terms of like public workout, like obviously coming up, you've kind of been in the smaller shows and the local shows and kind of working bigger. What is it like? Is it something that you kind of like training? Is it something you got to train yourself over time, like being able to do it in front of larger crowds and kind of just interacting with them and etc.
yeah, a bit actually. Yeah, because
Yeah,
my first one was on the Jai Potato undercard, the
yeah,
one back in July, and then that
yeah,
was a pretty cool experience. So this will be
yeah,
my second one.
yeah,
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 sort of just getting used to that part of the pro boxing scene and that. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's good.
I guess it just comes with the job when you're moving up, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Talk a little bit about yourself, man. How did you get kind of your journey into boxing? How did it all start? How did you kind of, I guess, yeah, get on this journey that you're on so far?
Well, originally I was playing footy like rugby for the local club and that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Was this up in
yeah.
Brizzy?
No, this is down where I live in Beerwah.
Oh, well, okay, sorry. So that's where you
Yeah,
live. Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I live in Glasgow, one town over, but yeah, it was in
Okay.
Beerwah, and I
Yeah.
was playing for the local footy team, and I seen there's a boxing gym open, and I basically just went there for fitness, and then I started enjoying it more, and then I started sparring, and then basically as the footy season finished, I had my first amateur fight that year. I was 14, yeah, and then basically never looked back after that.
Yeah.
From then on, yeah, went on
Yeah.
to win a few
What
Queensland state titles, as amateur, and yeah.
Yeah. What made you get drawn to it the way you did? Because it's almost like a casual entry
Yeah,
into boxing, you know what I mean?
yeah. No, I
Yeah.
was always sort of a fan of it. Like I was like
Yeah.
always watched like little highlights and that on YouTube. I was
Yeah,
never
yeah.
fully into it, but I watched highlights and that, and then I don't know, it's just something clicked with me, yeah, and I enjoyed sort of like the intensity, the thinking behind it, like the
Yeah.
I don't know, just everything that sort of goes into it, even the training too. And then
Yeah.
when you get into the ring, yeah, it's the best part.
Um, at what point at what point did you kind of know that you were going to take this serious, like you were going to make a life out of it?
Um, Pretty early on actually.
Yeah.
I think it was after my first state title win, and I was 15, and then I started like taking it a lot more serious. Basically lived my life as like a boxer, as an
Yeah.
amateur, and then basically never looked back, just kept going.
Yeah. Um, what are your thoughts on boxing now in Australia, man? Like, it's kind of made a resurgence,
Yeah,
somewhat,
it's massive.
yeah, yeah, and which is it's a great thing because me and my older brother, we always talk about it and we always say something, I know there's all these different various like martial arts now, and there's all these different, obviously now with the rise of MMA and things like that, but
Yeah,
there was always something about boxing, like it's just, just using two hands. It's such a, it takes it back to the most rawest way of, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Handling things. And, it's something that it doesn't matter what's out there. It can never, I think there's no sport or no combat sport that can erase it. There is obviously
yeah,
issues in terms of the best fighters fighting each other,
yeah,
and that's been around for ages. And I was actually just reading about the Crawford and Spence thing and how frustrating that is,
yeah.
man.
Now that's been
Everyone,
pushed back now. Apparently,
yeah, that's been
now it's
pushed back. And
next
I'm
year for
thinking,
March or
yeah,
something. Yeah,
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
Everyone can have a go at Dana White and all this, man. I'm like, but the guy gets the best guys to fight the best
yeah,
guys. You got no choice, man. If you're in the
yeah,
top five, you're fighting top five. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And just look at like how hard it is to put like a fight like that. That the interest is there, and you know
yeah.
what
And
I
I was
mean.
like
But it's
teasing it for ages too, and
yeah,
then
yeah.
now it's fighting someone else. So
Yeah, it's
yeah,
they were playing them for months, man, and I was like, "Fuck, so
yeah,
many people be so pissed right now." Um, yeah, so like, yeah, obviously in Australia, boxing's, it's definitely made a resurgence, and I think the interest has grown. What's your thoughts on that, man? Like, what's your thoughts on the boxing scene right now? And it seems like every other month when we're reading, one of our boys or girls, they're finding themselves,
Yeah, yeah.
climbing to the top, and it almost seems like there's a pathway now. Not saying it wasn't before, but I think it's something I always say, man. I know I asked you the question, but I'll finish what I'm about to
No,
say,
you're
and
right.
then I'll
You're
get
right.
you to answer it. But I always say, like, it starts with us, man, like our backyard. Like I feel like the international interest for our boxers, both male and female, starts with how much we push them here. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
yeah,
and I feel like when that push is so strong and when that interest is there and that support's there, it gets the eyes of an Eddie Hearn or whoever it is and be like, yo, like I gotta look into this.
yeah,
And I
definitely.
feel like just that Jarvis and thing for having Eddie Hearn, Para and Jarvis fight, having just Eddie Hearn even just be involved and have matchroom boxing and the name be associated with like one, with our fighters and etc. can only do wonders. But I feel like now with the push locally and just in terms of Australia with some of the big no limit cards that happen and having these guys fight, I think
Yeah,
that's helping our athletes get seen internationally. Personally, I
yeah,
always said
definitely.
it starts with us. You know what I mean? You look at anywhere, Europe or America. If in America, if an amateur gets to the pro, it's already that push is there, that interest is there because they've
They
watched their
have it.
journey,
Yeah,
yeah, all the way through. So I always say it starts with grassroots, but it also starts with us pushing our athletes. But what's your thoughts on it, man?
yeah. So, like a
Mm,
few people have been saying, we're sort of like in a golden age now because it's
mm,
like got a lot of people, all new promoters,
yeah.
putting on these big, great shows and like showcasing all the great fighters in Australia finally, and like having Eddie Hearn over here. It's just getting us seen more and getting like us out there, like you're saying too. But I reckon it's the best time to be in Australian boxing, especially right now. Got so many. Like we got Jar Patel, world champion, Jeff
Mm,
Horn, former world champion. That
yeah.
boosted Australian boxing again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. That shouldn't be
yeah, and Tim
underestimated.
Tszyu,
Yeah.
Tim Tszyu has
Yeah.
got a big fight
Yeah.
next
Tim's
year.
got a big fight.
Charlo,
Yeah.
like it's all happening now, and
Yeah.
it's just going to keep getting better. I think.
It shouldn't be underestimated, touching on what you said with Jeff Horn as well, man. The whole him and Manny even
Yeah,
thing, like just
yeah,
having that event here, you get what I'm saying? Like I think somewhere down the track, I'm sure boxers and that community show the appreciation, but in terms of just sporting and in terms of changing the landscape, I think one day hopefully people will look back and realize like how big that moment was,
yeah. That was huge. Yeah. Like a
just
sold
to
out
have,
stadium,
yeah,
and like
exactly.
George Kambosos too. That
Yeah,
like those
yeah,
two
and
fights
George,
in
let's not
Australia, they were
forget
massive.
about that.
I was
Yeah,
there at that first one. That was cool
yeah,
too.
yeah. The one,
Marvel
the first
Stadium.
one. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, man, I mean, that alone, just bringing someone like Devin Haney to America and
yeah.
having a world title fight, like of an undisputed,
Back
you
to
know what I
back as
mean,
well.
back to
Yeah,
back as well. Yeah, man,
yeah,
it's crazy, man, and I really hope people appreciate it. You know what I mean? Because it's
yeah,
been a long time, and sometimes I think you take things for granted. You just don't know, like,
yeah,
when's the
definitely.
next
Yeah,
time. You know what I mean? And etc. So nah. Um, what's kind of what's in your vision, man? What when you see front on your journey, where do you kind of see it going? What's the next few steps? I know you got a fight coming up, but
yeah.
your overall kind of vision, what do you see when you see it?
Well, like I want to win this fight. Definitely get this one out of the way.
Yeah,
Then hopefully, if not one more this year, just to sort of stay busy, keep active, and then next year start having those bigger fights again.
yeah,
Maybe another Australian title and featherweight, or if not a regional belt, something like that. Campaigning at this new weight division, and in that my end goal is ultimately be a world champion. Definitely.
yeah,
I haven't come this far to only come this far, so
yeah,
I'm training hard and I'm always learning. And I feel at featherweight I definitely can compete with the best in the world.
yeah.
Um,
What's
but yeah, next
yeah,
next few years, just build my record, win a few regional belts, get my ranking higher, and then yeah, start
yeah,
going from there.
yeah. What's a typical training week for yourself?
Right now, because I'm not a full time athlete just yet.
Yeah,
Um, so generally, most mornings I'm up around between three a.m. or 5 a.m. ish, depending how early I start work. It's running, and then yeah, I go run straight to work. Finish around one ish, and then either if it's scheduled or not, we go straight to the gym, head there, get it done, and then head back home, chill with Bob and baby, and then cook a feed. and then just rest basically. So just train, work, and just repeat.
What's the run like? What's the distance
It's
like?
hard some mornings, yeah, being
Yeah,
so early.
yeah,
Sometimes I
yeah,
don't know when to wake up, and like warm up, so I just get up and just go.
yeah, yeah, yeah. A
Yeah,
couple of minutes into it, you're all in there.
yeah,
Eh? Yeah,
yeah, and then I'm in the zone. I got my
yeah, yeah,
headphones on, and I start cruising. Yeah,
yeah. That's it. What's being like, being a family man, balancing all of that too, man. Being a dad. I got a baby son, daughter,
yeah, baby boy, yeah,
baby
baby
boy.
son.
How old?
Yeah, he's 3 months. He'll be three
3 months.
months, 2 days, 2 days.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I got a little boy. He'll be 1 year in 2 weeks, man.
yeah.
Yeah, it's been
It goes
crazy.
quick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it goes
well,
quick.
it's been
Yeah,
quick, especially the training camp, like because we
yeah,
had him just before it.
yeah,
Sort of started training, and then it's just gone. But it's been
yeah,
good.
yeah. I'm sure the added, you probably don't need extra motivation, but you got added
Nah,
motivation now for sure,
yeah.
huh?
Now
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
added a ton more
yeah,
on now, making me just
yeah,
want to do better.
yeah.
Yeah, not
I
just
mean,
for myself now, for him too, and my
yeah,
family.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's amazing. Um, One thing I really wanted to touch on, man, way before I even like knew that we were gonna chat was just, being a proud indigenous person and,
Yeah,
me being from a minority myself and someone, being a Hindu and we can go to the whole philosophical
yeah,
thing about it,
yeah,
but there is a, believe it or not, an extended connection when you look at history,
yeah.
but
I know. Yeah,
yeah, but I really wanted to tap into that, man, and just get you to kind of talk to me about just what that means to you. And I know there's obviously not just in boxing but in just in general, like that must bear some weight for you too, man, as you climb, like knowing the importance of that and knowing who you're representing. Talk a little bit about that, man,
yeah,
what it means to you and to represent your community. And I even want to just dive into just where you're from, like your tribe and your family, in
yeah,
terms of, yeah, in terms of Australia as well. But yeah, talk a little bit about that, man, that aspect and what that means to you.
yeah. Well, I'm a Mununjali. That's my tribe name, Mununjalis, from like the
Yep,
Bow Desert, south, like just south of Brizzy, Bow Desert
yep,
area,
yep,
that down there. And
yep,
yeah, that's why I got the tattoo on my heart, and I'm very proud. Like
yeah,
one of the longest living cultures in the world.
yeah,
And every time I basically step into the ring, I like to represent my people, all my supporters, my mob. Yeah, that's what we call it, the Coolwell mob. Um, yeah, it's just something. It's part of me, and it's something I'm very proud of. And that's why when I step into the ring, I feel that extra energy boost. I feel personally, like spiritually too. And yeah, it's I know like a lot of people are looking because I just had this other meeting the other day with some people from Alice Springs in like Central Australia, and like I got a lot of following there too that I didn't
mm,
really know about. But it's good to know that all the mob and all the indigenous community is supporting me too, and
yeah,
knowing they're there with me when I'm in that ring. And I'm just happy to be someone to represent. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
especially
I
in doing
mean,
something I love too, in a sport that I
yeah,
love,
yeah,
and they're getting behind me and supporting it
yeah.
too. It's something I'm very proud of. Yeah,
um
especially so early in my career too.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and that's the thing, man. It's so early in your career, and at the
yeah,
same time, like it's not even just about boxing, you know what I mean? It's everything that comes with it.
yeah,
There's so much there's so much external pressure as well, right? And
yeah,
the pressure doesn't necessarily mean in a bad sense, but just like there's so many things that come with it that
yeah,
people don't realize that it's not just the skills, and it's not, there's so many other things. And I know for a fact that this would be something so important to you. I mean, like you said, you wear it in your heart. We see it every time you fight, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
it's just it's knowing that there's a deeper sense of something that you're giving back through what you're doing as well, you know what
yeah,
I mean?
definitely.
And there's nothing better than that, you know what I mean? Doing something like you said
Yeah,
you love doing, at the same time you can see that whatever legacy you're leaving or whatever you're doing is actually providing strength for your
yeah, and
community,
leaving a little impact. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
and
So
if it inspires one kid maybe to do a bit better,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
awesome too. Yeah,
that's how it all starts,
yeah,
it's
definitely.
what is it were you always, in terms of just being like really understanding, kind of where you're from and your community and your tribe and Like, was it something that you were always connected to from a young age, or was it something that you kind of got?
Yeah, fairly.
Yeah,
I'm still learning, obviously, a
yeah,
lot
of
more
course,
now,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
I'd like to learn more. Yeah, definitely.
Mm,
But especially now I've got a son too. I'd like to teach him a bit too,
mm,
and go.
mm,
But yeah, being like NAIDOC and that, I'd always get around all the mob who'd come out and teach us everything, like the stories, Dreamtime stories and stuff. Yeah, I was always into it as a kid.
mm,
But yeah, I'd like to definitely learn more,
mm,
obviously, and head out and see a bit more in Australia too, and
yeah.
when I'm a bit older than that. But yeah.
Is there a, you know how you were saying you were talking to like your community from Alice Springs.
Mm.
Does it like what is it like? I've always been wanting to kind of be fascinated, like going to each tribes, the different tribes across Australia. Is there much that's different? Like I know the culture's the same, but is there anything like, is there like, for example, if we go from
I
like,
think
I don't know, Sydney to Melbourne, right? Melbourne's got a different vibe, right? Like within your
yeah, I think
community,
it's a small little
yeah,
difference.
yeah.
Yeah, like
So
just little cultural
little
differences and
cultural
that. But
differences, yeah, yeah, yeah,
in Central Australia, I'd say because it'd be a bit more, I don't know, not like city based in that, I'd say, but I reckon the elders and that there would be a bit more, bit different to what they are here, like that
yeah,
I'm used to, because I haven't travelled too far. The furthest I've
yeah,
been, I went up to Arakoon once, and that was a little bit different in the community there. And I was giving back, helping, doing a little training there, and training some of the young fellas there with my coach. We went up there 5 years ago now, I think.
yeah.
It was a while ago now, but yeah. But then I reckon it'd be just a slight difference, yeah. But it
Yeah,
wouldn't take too
yeah.
long to get
It'll be,
get
yeah,
involved.
now that I
Yeah,
think about it, if it's not like city, then it'll be a bit different, right?
yeah,
They're probably hating on the city
yeah,
cats, and the city cats are like, nah,
yeah.
man, there's nothing
Probably.
here. Yeah, yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
was saying. I'd like to travel and sort
Yeah.
of actually understand it more and
Yeah,
know more,
100%. Yeah.
meet more. Yeah,
Yeah,
be
because I
cool.
always wondered, I was like, surely there's got to be like just on the environment alone, there's got to be a
Yeah,
different,
yeah,
a bit of a different twist to, yeah, what,
yeah.
yeah. So, um, what's the diet like for you, man?
Right now I'm on my water cut, so I'm doing a water load. I
Yeah,
got a good dietitian.
yeah, nice.
Who makes it all. She sends me all the plans and that.
Yeah,
But so she basically outlines the meals and I just make them. And
yeah, makes it
during
easier.
during
Yeah,
during fight camp, I adjust a bit. Like if I'm feeling like trying something a little bit different, nothing too major. But basically, fight week, I just follow it to a T. And then yeah, so right now it's pretty standard. But then I think after tomorrow, start to cut the carbs, and they'll start to get a little bit harder.
yeah.
Coming closer to
W-
weight cut. Yeah,
Wake up, yeah. How is that whole how do you find that whole process? Like even having a nutrition on board, talk a little bit about that. I mean, it makes a big difference, doesn't it? Like in terms of just
yeah,
it's the stress of not having to know what you're gonna eat, how much to eat. You
yeah.
just it's all laid out for you,
Well,
right? Yeah.
it makes it a little bit easier for me
Yeah.
because sort of takes the pressure off me then. And then, but
Yeah.
this is my second time only doing the water load because I was always a bit wary of it, like
Yeah.
drinking
Yeah.
so much liters of water. You think your weight would
Yeah.
just spike, but
Yeah.
last time I did it pretty easily. Like I felt fine throughout the whole week. Like my energies were a bit lower as it got closer,
Yeah.
but nothing major, nothing through that day, just during training. And then
Yeah.
basically I just jumped in the sauna twice the night before, had a little meal, and then morning of, and I made weight pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. For those that don't know, talk to them about water, like water loading and what that is.
So generally, I don't know the full thing about it, but it stores like your glucose energies, I think, or glycogen energies. I think she was saying. So, and you want to get your body fat lower, so you're not too heavy, like before you start, and that way your body is just flushing everything out. And then as you get closer and your weight's a bit lighter, you got all this water to sweat out. That's why when you jump in the sauna, you just lose a lot of weight basically really quick. Or that's what I felt, and
Yeah.
that's the basics of it. I got the dietitian in, obviously knows a lot
Yeah,
more.
yeah, yeah. Just follow the instructions. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
How
I just
much
followed the
water do you
instructions.
drink? Yeah. How much water do you drink?
Yesterday,
Yeah.
Friday, and yesterday I had to drink 8, and then today
Yeah.
I'm on 6. Tomorrow I'm on
Yeah.
6,
It's
and then
crazy. Yeah,
yeah, it goes 8,
yeah.
8, 6, 6, 4, 4, I think, and then 2.
Oh,
Yeah,
leading up
and then
closer
we
to the, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it
The
drops a bit, and then
weigh-ins.
we just
Yeah.
check my weight on the Wednesday, so 2 days before, and then we adjust from there. Yeah.
Yeah. do you find yourself like now getting more involved in that space of like, even just helping out your community, talking to younger kids, and is that something that you find yourself kind of using, using, I guess, what you have and what you're building, just, with yourself and your own journey? Is that something that, you see as something that's important and something that's, it's almost like this is something you got to do?
Yeah, yeah, sort
Yeah.
of. Maybe more down the road, but right
Yeah.
now, like it's hard to say because I'm still building
Yeah,
my
of course,
my
of course.
following. Yeah, but
Yeah, yeah,
definitely I
yeah,
would like to
yeah,
um, give back a lot more down the road when I'm a bit bigger, I got more
yeah,
following, and
yeah,
can do more. And like I said, when I travel on that too would be cool.
yeah.
Do like little hold living camps or anything,
I was
drive a
gonna
little
say
car.
something like that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that'd be very.
There's
I'd like
always
to do something
there's
like that.
always something, right? Something you can do.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah. Man, we could keep chatting, man, but I don't want to take too much of your
no,
time.
you're right,
But
bro.
yeah, I really wanted to chat to you, man. And I know like you probably get hounded. Is enough, I guess, platforms where it's purely boxing
Nah,
and
that's all right,
yeah. But
brother.
sometimes, but for me, it's more about the podcast is called Into the Deep, but it's called Into the Deep because
Yeah,
it's more the person, the person behind, what everyone
yeah.
sees, you know what
Then
I
just
mean? That's
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's
their
good. Yeah,
story, and that's what interests me, and that's kind of what I try to tap into, and knowing your background, but knowing, this sport, and just, what it can give you and what it takes to even just compete, even at
yeah,
your level, you know what I mean? Is nothing but respect, and it's about, you know, like I believe in helping the sport in my own way, and this is kind of my way of,
yeah,
giving an identity, you know to people, not just boxing fans, but it's the ones that just enjoy to watch the sport as well, to get behind people,
yeah.
and but man, I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate you giving me your time as well. It really
No,
means a lot. I know that you're busy and you're probably trying to use whatever time you can for yourself to, for yourself.
that's all
But
right. That's
I
all right.
really
Thanks for
appreciate it,
having me.
man.
Anyway,
Sorry, bro.
I said thanks for having me on. Yeah,
Nah, nah,
it's
nah.
good.
Means a lot.
Yeah,
Nah,
yeah.
thank you, man.
Thank you,
Nah,
brother.
we'll definitely do more chats, man. Down the
Yeah,
line. This is
yeah.
just
Look
the
forward to it.
beginning, and it'll be good to get in touch. But I wish you nothing but the best, man. I wish the rest of the week goes well. I'm sure it will.
Thank you. Yeah,
Ultimate professional, and man, all the best, man. And I know you'll get it done. And looking forward to seeing where your journey keeps going, man.
yeah. Thank you, brother. Until next time, eh?
Yeah, for sure, brother. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro.
See ya.